Here's the truth. You're not actually taking away anyone's pain when you choose to hold it. We're going to be busting some myths, because the first thing about being an empath, and honestly the first thing to mastering any talent, is seeing yourself clearly and really understanding what's underneath all of this stuff and this energy that you're able to hold and transform, but might actually just be holding on to for no good reason. So, the first myth is you're not weird. This isn't some cosmic woo-woo thing that you're experiencing, and I know that a lot of times empathic people are made to feel different or made to feel as if they're weird, because honestly, you've got a sense that other people don't realize that they're putting off. You can see through their mask. And some people don't like being seen. Some people aren't ready to be seen, and we do have to understand when to modulate that. But for most of our lives, it's either been, oh my gosh, I just love being around you. I feel so much better when I'm around you. Yeah, that's because you've been dumping all your energy on me. Thanks for that. Or it's been you asking them, hey, are you okay? What's up? And them going, I'm fine, weirdo. What's wrong? Like, I'm fine. I don't know why you're acting so weird. So the key to understanding your empathic talent is understanding that it's a talent. It's not this big cosmic woodly-doo thing. We all have the ability to be empathic. Even some of the most insulated people I know still can feel when they walk into the house and their spouse is crackling. They know when their spouse has had a bad day. Narcissistic types are heavily insulated, but they're not without that ability. People who are incredibly wounded insulate and guard themselves incredibly, but they still have the ability to recognize emotion. The only people that really don't have this innate hardwiring is a psychopathic brain. And that's because there literally are different, the structures of the brain are just different. So aside from 1% of the population, everybody has the gift that you have, but you have honed it, and you are talented at it. You are the Gordon Ramsay of energy. You are the Rembrandt of picking up on emotions. You can see things that other people don't actually pick up on in the day-to-day. Now, myth number 2, you are only here to pick up on pain. The reason why empaths can experience life this way is because, unlike being a great artist, where maybe you go to art school, you learn how to paint, you learn how to draw, you learn how to see correctly, you learn how to use different techniques. Empaths are conditioned and sensitized and trained by pain most of the time. There's a few that are just naturally empathic and they kind of have floated through life and they're natural healers and they're naturally gifted. But a lot of empathic people have experienced or witnessed some kind of trauma, or even just some kind of uncertainty or instability. Many of the empaths that I work with have experienced abusive homes, where they developed and sharpened their empathic senses because they had to be able to walk into a room and sense within milliseconds whether mom or dad was crackling and what to do about it. Did they have to soothe mom or dad? Did they have to placate? Did they have to distract? Did they have to act a fool just to keep their mom and dad's attention off of someone else? Or maybe keep dad's attention off mom and mom's attention off dad, what have you. Or maybe they had to get to a safe place, get their siblings to a safe place. So empaths are uniquely attuned to pain. And sometimes this isn't actually as violent as, say, abuse. Sometimes it's a little bit more of a gentle understanding. For example, a parent with mental health issues. Somebody who is in the family who is depressed. Maybe it's a sibling who's depressed. Or maybe it is somebody with anxiety. Or maybe it's somebody with an actual developmental thing that leads to an extra heightened sensitivity because that person, that empath, needs to know, how do I deal with this situation, because dealing with it in a blunt way just ain't gonna work. I gotta feel into this. I gotta be a little bit more nuanced. Sometimes it doesn't even come from our home life. A lot of empathic ability is developed in early life, yes, but sometimes it's not always the home. For myself, I was raised in a great home. I always felt safe, I always felt loved. I was friends and next door neighbors with the school bully. So while I thought this girl was my friend, and while she was my friend for most of the time, because we'd kind of gotten thrown together, like, hey, we're neighbors, of course the girls are gonna play. When we got into school, and probably even earlier, if I'm honest, she would either A, be my best friend, or she would turn me into a social outcast. It could happen day by day. One day I would be her friend, I'd be in the in-group. The next day I would be the social pariah with cooties. Sometimes it would happen as quickly as between recess and lunch, and I had to start learning how to identify when she was starting to shift on me so that I could act accordingly. So empaths are tuned into pain because that is how we were trained. But it doesn't mean that that is your only sense that you have access to. Have you ever been to a really good concert or a really good event of some kind where it's your people? You're around a bunch of people, but they're your people. Everybody's there to have a good time. Everybody there is having a good time. There is not a drop of negative or bummed out energy in the room, and you are just flying. That's because you have access to joy too. You have the unique ability to be truly happy for others because when they bring you their happiness, you feel it. You don't have to put on. That's not a skill you have to learn. You actually get excited when they do. So don't buy the myth that your only sense is for other people's suffering. Which leads me to the next myth that we're going to bust. You were put here to hold people's suffering. That's bullshit. You were not put here to absorb the world's pain. It's actually not energetically sustainable for you to do so. You can't actually hold other people's crap for too long. It will drive you nuts. It will damage your body. We're not meant to hold it. Empaths, little known fact, are creation's little energy filters. We are meant to move energy, both outwards and in up and out. We are meant to be channels. We're meant to be not so much sponges, but like those hollow tubes at the bank. You know, that drive-through where you just push the button and shoot. That's what we're meant to do with the energy. But a lot of us, once we begin to understand that we are empathic and we do pick up on other people's energy, some of us can start to think that maybe that's our life purpose. Maybe that's how we heal the world, is if I take your pain for you. Here's the truth. You're not actually taking away anyone's pain when you choose to hold it. And you're not taking away anyone's pain unless they have actually agreed to healing. Which is why we get so frustrated with our friends and our family who just want to call us up for coffee and talk our ear off. Because they sit there and they get a temporary good feeling of lightness where they've just shed all of their energy like cat hair all over us. And they get a temporary boost. They know that they feel good when they're around us, but because they haven't actually agreed to maybe change their behavior, to take the advice that you have to give, or to even really be healed by this exchange of energy that you guys are in, it's not gonna last. They're gonna go out into the world, they're gonna get a bunch more energy that's been bottled up, it's gonna bottle up, and then they're going to release it onto you again. Meanwhile, they have no idea that you've been sitting here rolled in energetic cat hair, and you're sitting here going, oh, I feel awful. But hey, I helped them, right? You are not only not meant to hold energy, but unfortunately, you're not actually doing your highest help in the world by holding on to this energy. You are not meant to suffer. Sub-myth to that myth. And I'll repeat, you are not meant to suffer. You were not meant to hold energy. You were not meant to experience pain just for it being your life purpose. Oh, sure. Okay, yeah, pain and suffering do have a place in this world. We don't need it, but sometimes we all do need a kick in the butt, and pain gets us to change. Suffering gets us to change. You, my friend, are not meant to hold the suffering of the world. You're meant to transmute it. And I live and I work in the Bible Belt, so I do actually get a lot of pushback on this sometimes. But do you really think that the loving, unconditional love force that created us, that created this earth, that created this universe, I don't care what you call it, doesn't matter. Do you really think that this force of unconditional love that has made you be able to be the collection of molecules and cells and energy and spirit that is you looking at this video today, do you think it created you with the intention of, okay, so everybody else on this planet is actually going to benefit from this being here, but they're going to have a shit time. You are going to suffer your entire life. No! What kind of sick creator would do that? You are not meant to hold suffering. You were meant to transmute it. That's your actual hardwiring. That is why there are people who are sensitive to energy. Just like artists are meant to transmute emotion into something that people can physically see, touch, hold, experience. Just like chefs are meant to transmute love into nourishment in a really artistic way. Just like musicians are meant to transmute emotion into something that we can hear. You are meant to transmute energy into something that is ready to be released. The next big myth that I encounter, we have to shield ourselves. Okay, I am now a vulnerable being in a world where everybody is shedding negative energy, and let's face it, there's a lot of it out there right now. I am this vulnerable being in the world. I have to block myself off, wall up, stay in, and just huddle with my cup of tea and not go out. And that's going to drive you nuts. You are not weak. You are not this diagnosable defect. Your sensitivity is not a curse or a diagnosis. And I know a lot of people probably made you feel that way. I know a lot of people probably made you feel like you were way too sensitive. Why are you crying all the time? Why are you so anxious? Why are you blah, 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 blah? But you are not weak. The myth that we have to shield ourselves as energetically sensitive people actually gets perpetuated in a lot of spiritual circles. You have to shield yourself from negative energy. It's just negative energy. That's all it is. It's uncomfortable, but you are more powerful than it. And if you allow it to flow through you instead of sticking on you, that's when you're going to realize that you actually aren't as wounded or impacted by negative energy as you otherwise would be, because now you're letting it go. You're not taking it on and holding it for yourself. You are powerful. You are actually gifted with an ability that a lot of people couldn't even take for a day. That's why a lot of people do insulate themselves. That's why a lot of people do numb themselves out, is because they can't stand what you can. In this next video, I'm going to show you a real quick tip on how to clear that energy, how to send it up and out, and how to work practically with busting these myths and seeing yourself clearly as you go through these lessons. See you in the next video.